This video is a review over slope and Y-intercept in standard form. So here's the first one. You have a table and it wants you to find the slope. You need to remember that when you find the slope from a table, you're doing delta y over delta x. So right here, I'm going down. I'm decreasing by 5 each time. And then, so this is delta y. And then you have delta x. Right here, I'm increasing. I'm going up by 3 each time. So now delta y over delta x is negative 5 over 3. That is my slope, negative 5/3. You want to leave slope as a fraction. The y-intercept, let's see, the y-intercept, you need to remember that you have 0 and then a number. Well, if I go in my table, I can actually find that right here. Here's my y-intercept. So I have 0, negative 5. So let me just mark that real quick. Right here, my y-intercept. My x-intercept is going to be where the y number is 0. Right there where I highlighted in the green. That's my x-intercept. Because the number is in the x spot, I have negative 3, 0. Now they want us to write the function equation. Remember that is y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, b is the y-intercept. I know we found the x-intercept, but we don't need that in order to find our equation. We should have y equals negative 5/3 x minus 5. The next one, here's the same type of problem. Again, if you're doing this for the first time, I'd pause the video and then come back and see how you did. First thing I would do is find delta y. Right here it is going up by 4, so it's plus 4. Delta x, I am increasing by 1, so I have delta y over delta x. I have 4 over 1, which is 4. There's my slope, 4. My y-intercept is 0 and a number, so there it is. And I have 0, negative 8. My x-intercept has a y number of 0, so there is my x-intercept, which would be 2, 0. Now again, to write my equation, I only need my slope and my y-intercept. Y equals 4x minus 8. My next problem right here talks about given a function equation y equals 3x minus 2, write a function that matches each description. Well, the first thing it says is that it wants a line that is parallel to y equals 3x minus 2. When two lines are parallel, their slopes are the same. So that means that my slope is going to be 3. Well, from this information, it gives me a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of 8. Remember, on an equation, I only need my slope, which is m, and my y-intercept. So right here, I can go ahead and write my equation, 3x plus 8. Now on the next one, it says parallel to y equals 3x minus 2 and passes through the point 7, 9. First off, if it's parallel, I know that my equation is going to start out y equals 3x. What I don't know is the y-intercept. Now you can find this y-intercept by doing it 2 different ways. One way is to go and plot the point over 7 and up 9. Let's see, it's 10, 9, 8, 7, and up to 9. And then you can work with your slope, which is 3 over 1, up 3 to the right 1. To do this one, you're going to have to go backwards and go down 3 to the right 1, down 3 to the right 1, down 3, all the way until you get to the y-intercept. Now, for me, I'd rather do this. I'd rather build a table, put in the point 7, 9. I know my slope is 3. So I put my slope in times my x, and I'll multiply these two numbers. 7 times 3 is 21. What do you have to do to 21 to get to 9? I need to subtract, oh, what is that? 10, 11, 12? Subtract 12. Now, if you don't know that, take in your calculator, take this number minus 21. So you take 9 minus 21 in your calculator, it will give you negative 12. So it would be minus 12. So there's my equation. The next one, it's the same type of problem. Pause the video and see if you can answer this question. What I would do here, here's my y-intercept. It gives me this. I need my slope to write an equation. If it's parallel to this, that means my slope is going to be the same. So my equation should be y equals negative 2x, then my y-intercept minus 3. Now on letter B, it says parallel to y equals negative 2x plus 7 and passing through the point 3, negative 2. If it's parallel, it means my equation will start out the same, negative 2x. Now I need to find my y-intercept. Let's plot the point 3, negative 2. I'm going to plot this point right here. And my slope is negative 2 over 1, which tells me to go down 2 and to the right 1. Well, I need my y-intercept. If I go down 2 to the right 1, I'm going away from the y-intercept. So let's go backwards. Up 2 to the left 1, put a dot. Up 2 to the left 1, put a dot. Up 2 to the left 1, ding, 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 ding. There's my y-intercept. 1, 2, 3. It looks like it is 0, 4. Remember, you can do it by a graph, or you can build a table. Either way will get you the same answer, 3, negative 2. You would put in the slope of negative 2. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. What do you have to do? Like this right here is negative 6. What do you have to do to negative 6 to get to negative 2? Plus 4. Gives me the same thing whether I graph it or do a table. So my y-intercept is plus 4. That would be my equation. All right, the next one gives me an equation in standard form where the x and y are on the same side. It wants to know the x-intercept. Okay, you could solve for y and put it in your calculator and look and see, because the x-intercept has a y number at 0. The y-intercept has an x number at 0. So you could solve for y, put it in the calculator, and look for these points. I'm going to show you the cover-up method and remind you about the cover-up method. If I want the y-intercept, the x-intercept, I'm going to cover up the y. I get negative 5x equals negative 20. I would divide by negative 5. X equals 4. My x-intercept is 4, 0. My y-intercept, I'm going to cover up the x because x is 0. I get negative 4y equals negative 20. Divide by negative 4. Y equals 5. Now again, if you would want to, you can go in here and take your equation and solve for y. I would have added 5x to each side. These cancel. Got negative 4y equals 5 minus, oops, not 5, 5x. 5x minus 20. And then divided by negative 4. And got y equals negative 5 fourths x plus 5. See, there's my y-intercept in the equation right there. You could take this and put it in the calculator and look and see for your x-intercept. Either way you can do it. I'm not saying you have to do just one way. It just depends on what's easier for you. And you know, the x and y intercept, the cover-up method tends to be a little bit easier than solving for y, but to get it right, you could do it either way. Next, same type of problem. To find the x and the y-intercept, Remember, the x-intercept has a y number of 0. The y-intercept has an x number of 0. To find the x-intercept, I would cover up the y. What do you have? X equals 12. There's nothing else you need to do. So you have 12, 0. The y-intercept, I'd cover up the x, and I'd get 6y equals 12. Divide by 6, y equals 2. There they are. Next one. Pause that video and see if you can find the x and the y's intercepts. Remember, the x-intercept has a y number at 0. The y-intercept has an x number. See, because the x-intercept is going to have a number in the x spot. The y-intercept is going to have a number in the y spot. To find the x-intercept, I'm going to cover up the y. I get 2x equals negative 12. Divide by 2. X equals negative 6. To find the y-intercept, I cover up the x. I get negative 4y equals negative 12. I'm going to divide by negative 4. Y equals 3. There's my y-intercept. This time it gives us our x-intercept and our y-intercept. And it wants us to find the equation of the line. You can do this two different ways. One way is to go and plot the point negative 3, 0, and 0, 2. There's my 2 points. And I can draw my line. And to find my equation, y equals, remember it's y equals the slope times x plus the y-intercept. The slope, I know it's going to be positive because my line is increasing. I go up 2 and over 3. So I have 2/3 x. Then I already have my y-intercept right here, which is plus 2. Now, if I were you, I would go in your calculator and put in there 2/3 x plus 2 in y equals and press graph and make sure it looks like this graph. Another way that you could do this, if you didn't have a graph or you didn't want to do it that way, you could build a table and put negative 3, 0 and 0, 2. Remember x then y, and do delta y over delta x and find your equation that way. It would have been the same thing. Plus 2, plus 3, where my slope is 2 over 3, and you already had your y-intercept. Here's the next one. Well, let's graph these lines, or graph these points. 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 0, 4. I will connect my dots. I know my slope is going to be negative because it is decreasing. It is going down. Y equals my slope. I'm going down, let's see, 1, 2, yeah, I did it right. All right, down 4, negative 4, and over 5. Negative 4 over 5x. See, if you built a table and had 5, 0 and 0, 4. Delta y would have been 4. Delta x would have been minus 5. 4 over negative 5 is exactly the same thing as what we just got. Plus the y-intercept. The y-intercept is 4. There's your equation. Here's the next one. It says, what is the y-intercept? What is the x-intercept? Graph the line and write it in slope-intercept form. Now, you can do this again. There's nowhere are we saying that you just have to do it one way. You can do the cover-up method or you can solve for y. Either way is fine. I'm going to go ahead and show the cover-up method. It wants the y-intercept. My x number is 0. So I'm going to cover up my x right here. I get negative 4y equals 8. I'm going to divide by negative 4. Y equals negative 2. 0, negative 2. I can even put a dot down there on the graph. The y-intercept, I'm sorry, not the y-intercept, the x-intercept. Let me get my pen here. The x-intercept, y is 0, and what do I have? 2x equals 8. I'm going to divide by 2. X equals 4. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. Whoop, nice dot right there. Let me see if I can draw it a little better. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can draw my line to connect the dots. So now I've already done C by plotting my intercepts. My equation, y equals, I need to find the slope. Right here, build a table, do delta y over delta x, or count on your slope. I'm going up 2 and over 4. 2 over 4, if you put that in your calculator, if you put 2, divide 4, math, enter, enter, it will reduce it for you. Your slope is 1/2. So I have 1/2 x and then my y-intercept, minus 2. Again, to check it, I would put that in my y equals in my calculator and press graph and make sure it matches what I just graphed over here. The next one, it says what is the slope of the line represented by the equation? Now the bubble end portions are not, they don't look like this now on the new EOC, but we'll still work with, actually I won't mess with these right now. We'll just cross these out. The slope. First off, slope is delta y over delta x. You could do what we were just doing, do the x-intercept and the y-intercept, graph it and find the slope. For me in this case, it might be easier to solve for y to find my slope, and that's the way I'm going to do this problem. I'm going to add 4x to each side. And here's the thing, you must solve for x to find your slope. You cannot just look and say, okay, well, it's this number in front of x. That's the most common mistake. You have to get y by itself before you can tell me what the slope is. So I'm going to put 2y equals 4x plus 8. I'm going to divide by 2. I get y equals 4 divided by 2 is 2x plus 8 divided by 2 is 4. This is the only thing I need. My slope is 2. Now, I mean, I know I scribbled this out, but if I'd wanted to graph it on this type of bubble thing from the past, I would have put the 2 right here in front of the decimal. But again, that's not what yours are going to look like on the EOC. Next one. Right here, it's asking you for the same thing. What is the slope? Pause that video and see if you can find out what the slope is. The biggest mistake would be is if you chose negative 4 as a slope. That is not what it is. You must solve for y. So I have minus 4x plus 4y equals negative 8. Well, I'm going to add 4x to each side. I get 4y equals 4x minus 8. I'm going to divide everything by 4. I have y equals 4 divided by 4 is 1x minus 2. You could write it as y equals x minus 2. It wants to know the slope. The slope is the number in front of x. It is not x. It is 1. The slope is 1. The next one right here, I think this is where people struggle trying to find the equation of this line. First thing that's the easiest is to find the y-intercept. So I go down here and I always put a dot on my y-intercept. And it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 0, negative 6. Now my slope. My slope, the line from left to right, is increasing. It is going up. It is going to be positive. So I'm going to start here, and if I go up 1 and over 1, it's not on the line. It looks like I need to keep going over. So I go up 1, and I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4. Ding, 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 ding. It looks like I go up 1 and over 4. I would always try it again. Up 1 and over 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure enough, 1 over 4 would be my slope. My equation, y equals, remember, m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. 1/4 x minus 6. Again, the biggest thing on the graphs is after you come up with the equation, put it in that calculator and double check and make sure you got it correct. The next one, on number 14, they want us to solve for y. You can pause the video and solve for y and come back and see how you did. Well, what's the first thing we need to do in order to solve for y? We need to move the x to the other side. It's a positive x, so you must do the opposite, and you must subtract x from each side. I get 4y equals negative x plus 8. You could have 8 minus x. It doesn't matter what the order is. I'm going to divide by 4. My equation is going to be y equals, I have negative 1/4 x plus 2. You know, you could even see it sometimes y equals negative x divided by 4 plus 2. Those mean the same thing. They could write it either way. There's the next one. I would pause that video and see if you can solve for y on this one. What's the first thing you do to get y by itself? You move this 3x. How do you move a positive 3x? Subtract 3x from each side. Well, I get negative 5. Well, I don't want to write in that color. Hold on. I get negative 5y equals, don't leave off that negative. Now, I'll write it this way. Some people, I'll write 10 minus 3x. You could do negative 3x plus 10. Now I'm going to divide by negative 5. I'll have to come down a little farther here. These cancel out. I get y equals 10 divided by negative 5 is negative 2. And negative divided by a negative is a positive. Now, 3/5 is a fraction. Leave it as 3/5 x. You can also write it y equals 3/5 x minus 2. There's another one to solve for y. What's the first thing you would move? Again, y needs to be by itself. Move the 4x. You cannot just put it over on the other side. You have to do the opposite. And I would subtract 4x from each side. I get 8y equals, I like to put my x in front just right away. You don't have to. You could have 12 minus 4x. Divide by 8. I get y equals, again, if you put negative 4, divide 8, and press math, enter, enter, it's going to reduce your fraction for you each time. And you'll have negative 1/2 x. And then 12 divided by 8 doesn't work out. It works out to be a decimal. But if you put 12 divide 8, math, enter, enter, it will reduce it for you as well to where you get 3/4. No, 3/2. Whew, going crazy. Because I divide each number by 4. So I get 3/2. And I can just leave it like that. Nothing's wrong with that right now. Now, If you had the worksheet that went along with it, I skipped and I went down here to this graph. When you have questions like this, it says which equation describes the graph. The first thing I would do is find this right here is 0, 4 is my y-intercept. And then I'd find my x-intercept right here should be 3, 0. Now, once you look on your graph and you find your intercepts, start up here and do your cover-up method. So like right here, I covered up, let's find the y-intercept. 12 divided by 3 is a positive 4. Okay, wait a minute, what did I do? Is my y-intercept 0, 4? It's actually 0, negative 4, isn't it? See, I even went too fast right there. This is saying that y is positive 4. That's not what I have on my graph, so it can't be A. So if I try the next one, I have negative 3y equals negative 12. If I divide by negative 3, again, I get y equals positive 4. It's not B. Well, right here, I'll even skip down here for a second and show you. If I cover this up right here, I get 3y equals 12. Divide by 3. Y equals positive 4. It can't be D. So the only one it could be is this one. See, but if I cover this up, I get y equals negative 4. If I cover up the y, I get x to equal positive 3. So that's where my answer comes from.